Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about a story that's been ongoing. This Young Thug YSL RICO case, right? Now, early in the RICO investigation, it was revealed, or there were rumors that there was a guy in YSL by the name of YSL Woody, right? This guy right here, right? And it was said that early in the investigation that YSL Woody was telling on people, snitching. And there was even some paperwork that was out there floating around on social media. Now, nobody could officially confirm this, even though there was reports of him being arrested earlier and things like that. Well, it looks like today we got some evidence that YSL Woody himself couldn't even refute. And before we get to that, man, do me a favor. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about YSL Woody out here telling, man. Now, it's been a long rumor that there's been members of YSL that have been telling on members of YFN. And it looks like YSL Woody was out here doing the most when he was telling on YFN Lucci and his crew. So let's actually look at the video that's circulating on social media that's got everybody talking right now, right? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna play this video here, and you see YSL Woody, and it looks like he's in an interrogation room. Some police officers are talking to him. They got out the notepad, he's got his arms crossed, and he's more than willing to make a deal. This is borderline, I don't know if this is embarrassing or funny, man, because for a gangster, he's so willing to give up so much information. But let's check this out.
I can get the time when they gonna go do it, so y'all can catch me in the act. I know.
Who's the target?
One guess.
I mean, Lucci's locked up.
Shit, kid.
So how?
I can get the time when they gonna go do it, so y'all can catch me in the act.
This is crazy. So just in case you guys didn't hear that, YSL Woody is basically saying, I can give y'all the time that they're going to do it so you guys can catch them in the act. Actually setting up the investigation or setting up the sting operation for them. This is wild, man. I'm surprised that Young Thug and none of them have spoken on this. Even though a lot of people have taken and talked about Gunna, this guy right here, YSL Woody, he's also a rapper, right? He's been on many platforms getting interviewed, and he's been repping YSL heavy out there, right? But, you know, he's been in other investigations and other situations that led him to this point. We're going to get to that in just a second, right? But just so everybody can really get an understanding of what he said, let's play this one more time.
I know.
Who's the target?
One guess.
I mean, Lucci's locked up.
Shit, kid.
So how?
I can get the time when they gonna go do it, so y'all can catch me in the act. I know.
Who's the target?
Bruh.
One guess.
I mean, Lucci's locked up.
Shit, kid.
Now that's a very important part there, because one of the officers said, well, Lucci's locked up, so what else can you give her? He's directly trying to set up a sting operation to get YFN Lucci, man, and somebody in his crew, or else they wouldn't even brought Lucci's name up. So she was like, well, Lucci's locked up. So obviously this was right after YFN Lucci had got locked up in his RICO investigation that they got for YFN. So he's got his own deal going on. But YSL, they were more than willing, and I can't say the whole YSL, but Woody was more than willing to give up somebody from YFN Lucci's camp. There's no way that in this ongoing beef with YSL that YFN could ever have won. You know what I'm saying? No matter what was going on in the streets or whatever, you know, these guys are willing to tell on you. You playing by street rules and stuff, and these guys really getting a Charleston White on. They're like, nah, we'll tell the police on you and all that, and we'll shoot you in the street. So you guys, there's no way you can match these dudes. So maybe them getting locked up and all the things that have happened since then are a blessing in disguise is what I want to say. You know what I mean? Because there wasn't no way they was about to win this out when you got dudes openly telling on the other side while they're actively engaging in street stuff. It's just wild, man. It's wild. Now, let's dig a little bit more into YSL Woody. Now, YSL Woody is, man, you could basically say he is the key to this whole YSL investigation. Because remember that YSL Woody and his girlfriend were arrested before the YSL investigation even started. That's him and his girlfriend, Aaliyah Jackson. Now, Aaliyah Jackson is a former police officer. This is one of the craziest stories in hip hop, I'm telling you. Now, Aaliyah Jackson caught wind of all these RICO investigations that were coming down back in 2021. Remember, everybody got locked up in 2022 pretty much, right? She saw the investigations coming down and she thought ahead looking out for YSL Woody. I will say this, he's got a loyal girlfriend because Aaliyah Jackson put her badge on the line and everything on the line to try to save him from these RICO investigations. She went to his Instagram page because she found out that they were looking at Instagram pages and tried to delete his account. She went and did a lot of things on his behalf, but don't just take my word for it. Let's actually look at the news story from 2021 that could have gave hints to YSL if they were looking or if they were really in the know that a RICO investigation was coming down the line. Like, there's no way they shouldn't have known that this was coming at this point. So let's check this out.
Tonight, a former officer accused of trying to help get a gang member back onto the streets. Police say the pair was in a relationship. Now that officer is facing several felonies. Channel 2's Michael Seiden broke the story tonight. He joins us live now from the city of South Fulton. Michael, that officer is out of jail tonight, but she now has her own court battle to deal with.
Yeah, no question, George. You know, our colleague Taisha Fernandez and myself, we have been working this, talking to our sources, and today we finally got our hands on new court documents that really read like a Hollywood script. In fact, earlier tonight I spoke with an off-duty officer here who told me that the entire department is just stunned by these allegations.
Now, the quality of this is crazy because, you know, it came from a couple years back, but it still looks like they shot it with a toaster or whatever, man. But as you hear, they're talking about an officer who was looking out for their boyfriend and ended up getting caught up in this whole investigation.
She's the former City of South Fulton police officer accused of abusing her badge to protect her boyfriend. Investigators say 27-year-old Aaliyah Jackson, who joined the city's police force in 2019, was booked into jail last month on felony charges after she tried to interfere with a major police operation targeting Metro Atlanta's most notorious drug dealers and gang members.
Now we know that investigation that they were working on behind the scenes in 2021 was the YSL RICO case and the YFN RICO case, man. There's a lot coming down the line, and there probably might be more in the future. If you're a rapper in the Atlanta area, I'd still be wary of what I post on social media. You know what I mean?
Among the suspects, Jackson's boyfriend, Kenneth Copeland, a convicted felon and documented gang member.
And ta-da, right there, her boyfriend was YSL Woody. So when he went to jail and he got out, I'm wondering, did Young Thug and them even give a second thought? Like, yo, why is he out? You know what I mean? Because I've seen interviews where he talked about he had did prison time, I believe, before. So why is he coming out of jail so quick? But man, we'll continue.
Who served time in federal prison in 2018. Right now, it's unclear how long the two have been in a relationship, but police arrested Copeland on October 27th after they say he was caught driving in his girlfriend's car with a loaded gun inside. Following his arrest, police say that Jackson tried to delete her boyfriend's Instagram page containing photos of gang activity. She's also...
And as we know now, she was trying to look out for him, for real. Like, she's a dedicated girlfriend like no other. Now, what she was doing was illegal, and I don't condone it, you know what I'm saying? But she knew that they were using Instagram and social media in this investigation. As you see with the YSL case, several people are in there, and they're talking about their Instagram. They're using things from their Instagram posts to put them into the RICO case, all of that, right? And she went to deleting his Instagram account because she was like, oh, no. And too bad it didn't work for the rest of them, man. There was no way for any of this to help anybody else, I guess. But man, let's continue.
Also accused of trying to disable his phone, which police were storing as evidence. On Wednesday night, we stopped by the East Point apartment complex where Jackson resides. hoping to get her side of the story, but she didn't pick up our call.
It is an embarrassment to us all. Certainly it's an embarrassment to the community.
Dr. Cedric Alexander is the former DeKalb County Public Safety Commissioner who now serves as a national expert on law enforcement in America. He says despite the criminal allegations,
this incident should not cast any disfavor over the thousands of other officers right there in your community in Metro Atlanta who are doing an outstanding job.
So initially this was reported as like an embarrassment to the force or whatever, but as we see, this had no bearing on their investigation. Like, this didn't hurt it at all, man, because it still came as a surprise when YSL got locked up and when YFN got locked up, to be real.
Understand the importance of maintaining the distance between themselves and those that are involved in criminal activity.
Channel 2's Michael Seiden joining us live again. Strong words there. Michael, question for you. Tonight, South Fulton Police Chief Keith Meadows talking about the allegations against his former officer.
Yeah, George, he sent us a statement basically saying that they will not stand for this kind of behavior, that they hold their officers to the highest standard. They also told us that she was placed on administrative leave, and as soon as that happened, she did resign from her position, and then 2 days later, she was arrested and charged with those felonies. George?
All right, so you heard right there. YSL Woody's girlfriend gets arrested, as well as with him, because he got caught with a gun in her car, and this was like months before the YSL RICO case started. You know what I'm saying? I want to say, I believe it was like almost, we'll say a half a year. You know what I'm saying? A half a year before the RICO case even started. So obviously she was getting some low-level information and was going to act on it to support YSL Woody. But what's crazy about this situation, it seems like he might have been the start of the evidence gathering in this situation as far as it goes for YFN and YFN Lucci. So you got somebody who is in the opposite gang, alleged gang, because it's still up for debate if YSL and YFN are gangs or they music groups or whatever, right? But you got one telling on the other, and now it's caught in 4K. Now, what do y'all think about this, man? With YSL Woody or Lil Woody out there openly in an interrogation room trying to tell on YFN Lucci, what do you think this says about the beef between YFN and YSL? Do you think this whole YFN Lucci situation against Young Thug was destined to end in some sort of tragedy, and the fact that it led to all this information being gathered and these guys both getting arrested, it just played into law enforcement's hands in this situation? Or do you feel like, man, this was inevitable, man? This is just something that was going to happen, and rather they get locked up than somebody get killed? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.